And we're live. I don't know who's going to go first tonight.
Should
Brian?
we go top to bottom? I'll go first since I've been going last lately.
All right.
I actually have two, and I'll let you pick one. One is personal, and one is observational. I can't tell which one's funnier, but we do the personal. What do you want to hear? Personal?
Yeah.
Something from my life. My dad had me later in life, and I say later because we're not really sure how old he was before he passed away. He was born to a couple of immigrants, an Italian immigrant and a German immigrant, and I guess they just had him. I don't know if they went to a hospital or anything, but the government, he enlisted in the army, and the government kind of assigned him a birthday. It was December 1st, like 1934. But so if you think about it, it's like he had his father was Italian, his mother was German, and they came over around 1917. So I'm like, were they war criminals in World War One? Were they fleeing the Allied powers in World War One, or were they just coming over? I don't know if there was a famine in Italy. I'm not sure about the crop rotations in the early 1900s, but let's see. They were so. This is the open mic now, isn't it? Or it was like, well, the question is like, why didn't they have a birth certificate? Was it? I guess it was just like it's hard to guess somebody's age within 10 years, but were they so poor that birthday parties weren't a thing? But so he would say stuff too that was like confusing. So if he was born in the 30s, we'd be watching like Wizard of Oz would come on TV, and he'd say like, I remember seeing this in the theater. I'm like, wow, this came out in this was 1932, I think. And but then he would be the Hindenburg stuff would come on TV, and I was like, I remember when that happened. And Dad, what? I think he might have been trolling us, but I'm not sure. It wasn't. Is he a vampire? I'm not sure how this works. Those things are real, or what? But
he remembers every bit of history before 1950.
What's that? Bolshevik Revolution?
I was just a lad.
I remember when the radios broadcasted the top. They didn't even have radios.
What's funny? What's funny is you have room for a joke with where they're like they just assigned him a birthday. Kind of like when you adopt an animal like a dog or something. You're like, well, we don't really know. It's we'll just make something up. We'll roll some dice and that'll be his birthday. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then the other thing that you said that was kind of funny too that I liked in there with that, it's like he was not quite sure. The parents aren't quite sure, and because they're poor or whatever, they use that against him. So wait, isn't this my birthday? No, this isn't your birthday yet.
Like not yet. Keep waiting.
No, it's another day.
It'll happen, it'll happen, my bambino. Your birthday is coming. Just wait.
It's coming. Just wait. I just graduated high school.
No. It's
coming. It's coming. Don't you worry.
You can do an Italian accent now, right? That's still not offensive, right?
Yeah, make your entire family sound like Mario.
Yeah.
Hey, just do it higher up.
It's Mario.
Okie dokie. We got you a coin.
Yeah.
And then you're going to play like just a little.
I thought your opening line for that was where you said, my dad had me later in life.
Oh.
It's like,
very progressive.
That was his decision.
It was a surprise to your mother.
Yeah, my mom had no say in it.
They randomly assigned him a gender as well.
You're having a child.
She wanted to go earlier. No, my dad.
Wait.
It was a 3-year gestation because Dad wasn't ready yet.
The good old days when women were still submissive.
His joke.
Just a couple more months longer. A couple more months and let it cook.
So what does his gravestone say?
His
Just
joke.
question mark to
34, December 1st, 1934.
Okay.
According to the government, his joke was that
Finally.
he carried me around in his shirt pocket, which it doesn't make sense now. It didn't make sense when he told it to me. You just pick out of my shirt pocket. I go, what? I don't.
Okay, Dad.
So I thought maybe
Like
I
you were a
was missing
sugar
something.
glider.
Yeah. I thought maybe I was missing something, but looking back on it, I was like, no, it just didn't make sense. He just thought it was funny because it was dumb.
All
It's
right.
like That you're part
Total
sugar
dad
glider.
joke. Yeah, I put some popcorn in there for you.
That's one of the advantages of being a dad is you can say whatever dumb thing you want and laugh about it.
And then scar
everybody
your
goes,
child
well,
for
The kids
scar your
assume
child for their life.
It's my
Yeah.
dad.
your kids assume that you know something that they don't. They just go, I guess maybe there's some sort of information.
I
that
guess
he's
they
got
made
that I don't-
shirts different back then. I guess shirts were made of a different material
You
back then.
carry babies in them.
Yeah.
Have you
They
done
just-
the ancestry DNA thing to even see if
I haven't.
you are
He's
Italian?
your real dad.
Yeah. What if you're like 100% Uruguayan?
Are you sure? Yeah. We're Uruguayan.
Dad, that's not your shirt.
Apparently, my forefathers from Caracas. Nowhere near Italy.
All right,
All
well, now
the
was
time you
that
didn't
was the
realize that
personal
you're
one, right?
Uruguayan.
Yeah. What's that, Jason?
So all the time you didn't realize that you're Uruguayan.
Yeah.
It's terrible. A little ashamed of myself, but only little.
I know nothing about the country other than South America.
Uruguayan Italian.
You can't say anything that's uniquely Uruguayan, can you? It's like they have those. What do they have
have a
there?
U.
Llamas? That's Chile, right?
They're
That's
magically
Peru.
delicious. Wait, that's not
Uruguayan.
Uruguay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
where
you
I
got to
get all
like
my lucky
thump them
charms.
to see if they're ripe, right? Isn't that how that Uruguayans?
Come here,
No?
buddy. See your
That's how you,
head.
but that's universal. That's how you tell if any person is ripe.
That's true.
Your mom, is she ripe? Thump, thump.
Oh, you're ready for picking, buddy.
That's how you can tell when his birthday is. He's thumping.
You're ready for the food truck.
This is a 6-month-old.
No, you just check the soft spot for a 6 month.
Well, it beats the old days where they
Let's
would just
kick out.
cut them and just count the rings inside.
No.
Don't thump the soft spot.
Yeah.
So that was a personal one. What's the impersonal one?
Oh, that was the one. So, I'm not a big fan of Tom Brady. I appreciate the man's work.
I like this one so far.
I appreciate his line of work. I understand that he's quite good at what he does. But yeah, Brian, there's quite a few. He's done quite a few Hertz commercials. I don't understand. He doesn't need the money, and there's not a lot of prestige coming from Hertz. So I don't know what it is. Do they have something on him? Do they have some sort of secret? Do they say? Does he have a secret? Heroin addiction that they're sustaining for him? It's like, Tom, if you want the good stuff, you're going to have to do this other commercial about you have to do this. It's a news report, and you're reporting from the garage of the Hertz where they're returning the cars, and people are happy that they're renting cars. He's like, all right, just give me that good smack, and I'll do this commercial. I'm not saying that's what it is.
No, they're trying to
Theorizing.
erase the stain of O.J. Simpson all these years later. That's what they're trying to do.
OJ did Hertz. I remember it was a car rental, but okay. So there's
Sounds good
how
enough to
many-
me anyway.
So the question is, how many Tom Brady commercials will eclipse the OJ pass? Will undo the pass?
Will he sit there and go, "What do you need? We got a white Bronco out front.
Well, okay. So the first commercial that came
Let's
out,
bring it back to 1994. Why not?"
Tom
30
Brady
years
was not
ago.
on the Broncos. I don't know what you're talking about.
the first commercial he did, it's an interview, and I'm like, okay, I get it. He did a commercial. It's fun. But then he's doing more commercials. He's doing one where, like I said, he's like the reporter, and he's at the rental company, and the other lady's like the anchor at the desk. And then there was another one where he was driving the car in, and so I don't know. This was like a series, so he probably spent as much time filming all of these commercials as they do, a major motion picture. Why didn't he do a motion picture? That's the
Well, he did.
question.
He did 80
A
for
motion
80
picture
for
about
Brady's.
renting a car at Hertz.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Hurts
You
so
are my
good.
car.
One of those
Starring
old
Tom Brady.
It's just interesting to me that you're suspicious because he's doing rental car commercials. He must have a drug addiction. There's so many other possible explanations.
The only possible solution.
What if he just really believes in the rental car cause? What if that's
Isn't that worse though?
Doing it in exchange for a 10% off coupon.
There you go.
Oh, he wants to save money.
Or maybe he's become part owner. But I think you can turn this into a bigger thing about athletes doing commercials for products that just don't make sense. And then they always tie in some lame, pun. This is too good of an opportunity to pass on, and then
his was like the goat or something.
And then you just find the most ill-fitting celebrity.
Kurt Warner for wedding dress alterations.
Or you got like Wayne Gretzky doing domestic abuse, talking about slap shots or something. Jeez. That's something I gotta think of just now.
It's a little different.
I should have. I don't know if I should have done this right after I listened to the Norm Macdonald memoir.
Oh, it was so good, wasn't it?
It's a different side of Juwan coming out tonight.
Hey,
dark there, buddy.
What's the deal with OJ murdering people?
Yeah.
Huh? Tom Brady's getting paid in smack.
I just thought
that was
smack was a good comedy word.
Oh, smack's a wonderful.
Was getting paid in smack.
Back in the old days, when I wasn't a clean performer, that used to be my closer. It was Cookie Monster on Smack.
But how does that not? I guess you can't do that in a church, but
what I would do is I would turn it into a Smoky Monster and have them on cigarettes. But
the Smoky Monster.
Yeah, the premise was that everyone's so politically correct that Sesame Street got in trouble because Cookie Monster's eating too many cookies. Blah blah blah. It's not about me. It's Juwan's time, but they had to repackage him to say that cookies are his sometimes food. And I was just like, this is the problem. Parents are having issues with. They're at PTA meetings. How's little Joey? Always doing fine to that googly-eyed freak Cookie Monster. And now, thanks to Oscar, my kid wants to live in a trash can. So then I was like, well, I would make him a bad influence. If you're going to get in trouble, go big. And so I'd have Cookie Monster drinking, smoking, and shooting up smack. And then I would take the cord and wrap it around my arms. All sorts of smacky, all that. So, nom nom nom. It was so. Anyway,
that's what I was going to ask. I was like, just do one line.
And then it would just be this really when the rush hits, it would just be this giant oh boy, and then he would take a drag off a cigarette and go, "That's way better than Cookie," and that was.
We have munchies.
Yep.
I also think that there's something about those of us who are not multimillionaires always say, well, he can't be doing this because he doesn't need the money. And I think it's that attitude about not needing the money that's maybe that's the difference between us and Tom Brady. Yeah. Maybe the reason he has the money is because he thinks he needs the money, and so he goes and does the commercials.
Would you do a Hertz commercial for free?
Would I?
No.
That's what I was saying.
What's the commercial you would do if you didn't need the money? You're like, oh, what's this? We're going to be punting babies out of the stands into halftime. I don't need the money. I'm just doing this for fun.
I'm doing it for the love of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. I would pay to do this.
Pay me in chicken wings. We're good.
You just described the first 10 years of my comedy career.
Yeah. I don't think Hertz would be paying him more than the Super Bowl and winning the Super Bowl, though. Or saying, I'm going to Disney World. Just those words right there covered his whole Hertz paycheck.
But yeah, you have all different athletes. Like you have Rob Gronkowski doing the USAA commercials, and it's like,
that's right.
If there's ever the stereotype of a big dumb jock, like you're not helping Rob Gronkowski. And I'm a Patriots
fan. He's not fighting. He's not breaking any stereotypes.
You are not helping. Because even then, I'm like, oh, that's not a good look.
They never pick celebrities that do need money. It's always the ones that are in there. Like there's never been like a Nicolas Cage free eggs.
Right.
Like
right. Let's get this D-lister that nobody remembers. They really need the money. Put them out there as our spokesperson.
He wouldn't even say his name. He'd be like, I'm the guy who played the best friend on The Great American Hero.
Yeah.
He would go, hey, you know what? It doesn't matter who I am. You're not.
My character didn't have a name. You may recognize me as umbrella holder number 2.
I was one of the kids in the class at Boy Meets World. I was always sitting behind.
Do you remember that one episode?
Boy met. Well, that
Fred
was
Savage.
me.
You remember that dead body in Friday the 13th?
No, the other one.
Those were my feet.
Perhaps you remember me as stripper number 2.
All right.
I was his stump double.
Did you say stump double?
Yes, I did.
Stump double.
That works for Friday the 13th.
Yeah. Just
Or Lieutenant Dan.
Stump double.
Lieutenant Dan and
I meant to say stunt, but I don't use words. So
I was Lieutenant Dan's missing legs.
Green screened, you couldn't see it. So my turn, you said?
Yeah.
All right.
Take a big drink of that. I assume vodka. I assume
Yes.
a tumbler of vodka.
Yes,
He's drinking it straight out of the tumbler, too.
On the ice.
It's the only way to drink it, right?
Martini, the martini out of the
Vodka on the rocks.
Pretty quick one this week. I have been working on doing a 30-day gratitude challenge, and you guys who know me know it's probably not going very well. I can see that look, John. You're just like, wait, what? Yeah, it's probably not going. It's not going. I mean, I'm early into it. It's only been
For
about
you, a 30-minute gratitude challenge would be.
to start small.
Yeah, it's.
I don't think you should dive in and try to do 30 days.
That's the thing, and it's been early. It's been 10 minutes, so I'm not doing very well with it, and I'm just struggling because I get to these points. It's like, yes, I feel like I should be. There are things that I am really grateful for, but then I'm just like, I think it depends on who you're around. Is the gratitude, and who tries to like get you to be grateful, because there's certain people like the messaging is just not. You don't want to hear it from them. It's just like, you should just be grateful for being alive today. And like, shut up, leave me alone. You know what I mean? Like there's no. So I'm trying to be, and I'm trying, and I'm really I'm struggling because. Once you get past the basics, it's like, okay, I'm grateful to be alive. I'm grateful, to be someone, whatever. Okay. Grateful to be see another day,
Blah, blah, blah.
That old chestnut.
Thanks for being alive. Thanks for breath.
Thanks for all of that.
Blah, blah, blah.
And another day the sun came up.
That's right. Just,
breath in my lungs. Blah, blah,
but after a while, though, after that, though, it's like, okay, you start to run out of things. It's like, all right,
oh yeah,
I'm grateful they put the right sauce packet in with my Taco Bell order. I'm grateful.
This is why it's called a challenge, Brian.
It's a challenge. It's definitely a challenge. Like I can't.
I defy you to think of 5 things that you're grateful for.
Well, and not repeat them, and not
not repeat them. Right?
Like, what are we doing? Like I have my cheat sheet right here. But to just find other things, I'm like, oh, I'm grateful I don't have to put up with this person all the time. Like when you're having this conversation, like I'm grateful I don't have to talk to you all the time. Just it's been a struggle for me, and I'm that's kind of where I'm.
I like the idea that only certain people. You have to have it suggested to you by certain people. If certain people suggest that you be grateful, you resent them for that.
Right.
Well,
So my question is, who got you to do the 30-day challenge? Who was the spokesperson that represented this to you?
Tom Brady.
Yep. I saw it on a Hertz commercial.
I have so much to be grateful for. I know you can be too.
I'm grateful for the Tom Brady commercial. Yep. But that's the challenge. It's like with anything when someone tries to tell you, like if it's the wrong messenger, you're just like, I can't take you seriously, or you annoy me. It's like when someone's too positive or they're too cheery, and you're just like, get out of my face.
Too positive, right?
Too positive. Just like
too happy.
isn't everything just wonderful today? Like, oh, making banana bread. Like, I don't care about your banana bread. Go away.
Right. That's the angle, Brian. That's the angle.
I like the list, especially I got the basics, breathing. I woke up this morning and you're like, I got that.
It's definitely an apathetic ambivalence.
You could swap that where you do the list first and then you go, people are suggesting things to be grateful for. Like, it's a nice sunshiny day, and you're like, it burns my skin. Right. You're like, whatever they come up with.
Right. I think part of the reason it's challenging is because you're starting like with life. You start with being alive, and that everything else is going to be downhill.
Right. Yeah, you're not building up to life. Like day 30. Oh, I'm grateful I'm alive.
You should invert it. You should leave life for last, and then then you've got the confidence that you always have got something legitimate to be grateful for, and you save that for the end. And then you start with, I didn't break a shoelace when I was tying them, and all that sort of stuff to build up to it.
Yeah, I do like the building of the time too. It's like it started with the
once you get to life, you're challenge.
Done. Right.
What else is there?
Right, you are.
You got your health.
You're an amateur, so we're trying to help you out. Us people who are seasoned with gratitude, we're trying to tell you how to baby step into this.
It is like a 5K, like training for a 5K, I guess.
What'd you say, Jason?
Yeah, what'd you say, Jason?
I sound like a gratitude salt lick. It's seasoned, very seasoned.
Right.
Well, I got the salt part down.
5 licks into it, you're... I need some water.
This ain't no Tootsie Pop.
Grateful I wasn't burdened with a lot of money or muscles or hair. None of that.
Grateful for every
grateful for my
to get up
terrible,
this hill.
Yeah, this terrible genetics.
Right. I don't have to worry about people just liking me for my money and my fame.
That's right. My career is skyrocketing, and then just look around the place here at the Joe's Banana Shack.
I do like the looking around for stuff. Like once you get, because you like I could see like if you sit down and start thinking, you'll run out of the list and you just go,
my stapler.
Yes, stapler.
Yeah.
Walls are good, right?
Wind is a good thing, isn't it? Low stuff.
All I need is this lamp,
and this chair, and nothing else.
Paddle ball,
and that's it.
That's all I need.
And these cigarettes. This chair, this lamp, and these cigarettes. I don't need anything else.
And this heroin, and this tumbler of vodka.
And there's 10% off Hertz rent.
Yeah.
Oh, good thing I got the code.
I'm so grateful for that.
So I was going down the road recently, and I passed a guy standing by his car whose pants were down, like at just above his knees, and he was wearing a belt, and he was wearing the pants low, like that.
I would say, yeah, that counts as
lower than you need to wear your pants. And I thought, this is the least efficient way to wear pants that there is. I mean, rather than wearing them like that, you're better off just kind of tossing them over your shoulder or just leaving them at home. And it occurred to me that pants like that it was like looking at a very primitive version of pants before we figured out how to actually wear them. They were like a early prototype of pants when everybody was still wearing robes and the pants were just coming onto the scene, and people were like, hey, they pull them up to mid-thigh and they're like, okay, I think you might be onto something here, but can you make them cover up my butt crack? My robe covers up my butt crack, and that's what I like about it. And so
that's the reason you.
So they got busy. They got busy and spent years in research and development, testing different pants. And they had the early brave pants test pilots who wore the first models of pants. but they didn't know exactly how to do them correctly, and so they were getting tangled up around their knees, and they're like, I lost control, eject, and they gave their lives when they tumbled over railings and stairs.
A ball of flame, a ball of fire,
crashing all of those early pairs of pants. And some of the pioneers wondered if the results would be worth the loss of life, and they were saying things like, tunics still work, get a tunic, end this pants madness. And then one day, in Kitty Hawk, North Carolina, the first pair of pants stayed up around a human waist for over 20 seconds.
The first successful pants
America
launch. I like before people were wearing one leg on, one leg off. You know, the physicality of just shuffling across the stage.
I like the idea.
Guy.
Yeah, I like the idea that maybe they discovered pants. It was just like, well, what do you do with these? Yeah, instead of when you were in Venom, yeah.
They just pulled them up to the bottom of the loincloth because they were like, well, I already got the rest covered.
That's what happened.
And here's a little known fact, John, that
the first pants were chaps.
The bathrobe was actually evolved from the hospital Johnny. The hospital gown, because that's open in the back, and they finally were like, hey, let's do it the other way. So we can cover
Mr.
the butt
Robe.
crack.
Oh, I didn't
Some
realize.
teenager as a joke putting it on backwards.
Yeah, right.
Look what I'm doing. Look what I'm doing.
I also like the fact that
Hey,
Chris
this
Cross
is
will make
comfortable.
you kind of implied
It's kind of like peanut butter, like the Reese's peanut butter cup thing. Like they would just, it was a joke.
My chocolate.
Yeah. You covered your butt crack with my hospital gown. Hey.
I feel like you just misunderstood the whole knee high by 4th of July thing. That's what I think.
I like how it's kind of insinuated that if he were to push his pants down further, it would become more efficient. So like it was around his knees, you can't move your legs so much. But if you put it all the way down and you just kind of shuffle with your feet, you're like, oh, that's better.
Right.
Like these are feet covers.
Actually become more mobile the lower they go.
Yeah, I was thinking too of the line where you're like, he was wearing them so low that I don't know if you could call them pants. They would just be like foot covers or something, like a foot drape.
Slippers.
Would it be?
Well, you also referenced that he was wearing a belt. Like that is the clear failure of a belt. Like you, sir, do not know how belts work. Like it's one thing if your pants are low, and they don't have the belt, but like when you have the belt, like you are clearly missing, dropping the ball on several occasions.
Or his partner for the 3-legged race just didn't show up.
Yeah.
So he just put his other leg in and
slowly
went for groceries. Yeah. Well, that's exactly what got me on that train of thought. Was just like, this is a guy who doesn't seem to know the proper way to wear them. So I was trying to give him the benefit of the doubt.
How come you never see that with shorts?
Shorts
shorts are down
at their knees.
Yeah.
That's
you never
true.
see that. It's always pants. Where you think shorts would be a little more efficient. You still get that breeze that you're looking for, but at least it keeps, your mobility a little better.
Or it would look like it was properly hemmed for that height.
So breeze, you think breeze is the reason they're doing that?
That's what it is. It's purely for air circulation.
I can see that.
Yep.
I like that.
Hey, it gets hot in the summer. You got a case of swamp butt.
They wore robes to cover up their butt crack, like that was the only reason.
Well, and then if you go with the robe, you have the hospital gown, you have the robe, and then it evolves to the Snuggie. So that's the full evolution.
It goes back, actually. That's the full circle.
That's the full circle of it.
Yeah. Well, if you just want air circulation, all you have to do is lower your fly. You don't have to pull your whole...
But that's not as aerodynamic. That's going to slow you down.
And that joke's kind of low-hanging fruit.
Lucas?
So I recently found out that I have a perfect 850 credit score. Hold your applause.
Or your
I
disdain.
achieved peak whiteness.
My silence indicates my cynicism.
I think Brian found another thing to be thankful for.
No kidding. You and Tom Brady have a perfect...
It doesn't feel as good as you'd think. It's in reality, it's like a merit badge of how boring your life is. Like I never aspired to this. There were no superheroes named Mr. Responsible. And 850, like that's as high as you can go. Like, what am I supposed to do now? I'm a little depressed. I feel like I'm nearing my Breaking Bad moment. Like I feel like I need to commit a felony just to give my life some pizzazz.
You have walked on the financial moon, and now what is the rest of your life?
Right.
And
that is
the responsibility and the pressure that comes along with having the 850 credit score. You know, like if it's something now, it's like you have to be cognizant of it.
What were you doing to find out the score?
Religiously checking my credit statements.
See, that's
so you were just kind of
how you keep your credit score up.
That's what I was going to say. You were just
of balloons and confetti and stuff.
You were keeping up with your credit score
every once in a while.
Okay, because I think the last time I checked mine was when I do a mortgage. It was like 5 years ago. You do a mortgage, they'll go, oh, that's
just learning that 850 is the peak, because all this time I thought it was 1,000. I thought I was at 50%.
Arbitrary number, too.
And it's not like an SAT. It's not like the SAT. You don't get 800 just for spelling your name right.
I just feel like my credit score just went up because the percentage is higher than I thought.
Luke, that's a good line. That's a good line, too.
Jason's like, what do I have to do? He's paying cash for everything. Selling off.
I'm paying. That's
a good line, though. You go, I found out I recently got have a perfect credit score of 850. Some of you are just finding out that's what a perfect credit score is.
I just found out too. For years, I've been stuck at this level. What can I do? I can't break through this glass ceiling.
The glass ceiling.
And now you feel like there's no more worlds to conquer, and so there's.
I like the FOMO thing though. It's like I've missed out on life because I got a good credit score. I got no boats. I got no art. I got no ATVs.
I got no reason to live. I got a perfect credit
so much
score.
As a risk.
I've never had
all
credit
the rules, and I feel empty.
It's like when you like I didn't go to my prom junior or senior year. And I know it's probably just a terrible, stupid little dance that, it's just like every other dance, it's just as called your prom. But I'll never know. And I watch those like teen movies. I would watch those and I'd be like, hopelessly think about that. Luke, you will never know the phone calls from a debt collector. Mm-hmm. Like how you long to you just see it on TV and you just romanticize it.
Just should have bought that boat.
Just, about to sit down to dinner and the phone rings. And they butcher your last name. Yes, can we speak to Mr. McKindle? McKindling?
I was going to say, like, once the news of your credit score breaks out, you're going to have all kinds of weird mail.
No, that's been my whole life.
You
just talking about credit scores now, Facebook's going to start giving me ads.
Yeah. Right.
Raising my credit score. So.
How would you like to be a Scottish lord?
Right. How would you like to lower that credit score a little bit?
My identity is at max value if I wanted to sell it on the black market.
Wait, are there people buying? Because I could use the cash.
I didn't know you could sell your identity. I thought they just took it.
I didn't know you could check that. What's my identity worth?
What website? Yeah. Net worth. Your identification networth.com.
You don't want to steal an identity and have it have like a 200 credit score. That's no fun.
You have credit score checking commercials for apps. What if you have how much is my identity worth? App.
It's cheaper to sell it than to pay for LifeLock.
Yeah.
You said you were disappointed. Why don't you steal an identity that has a worse credit score and build it up and then give
rehab
it back?
it. Yes, that would be a TLC show, like flipping identities.
Right.
That's
Extreme Makeover Credit Score Edition.
A credit makeover.
That's
right.
Quite the
That'll
side
be like your
right
service to mankind. You build up their credit score and then hand their identity back to them. There,
and their
you
children.
Have a new lease.
I like it.
Credit rescue.
Give them back their identity
with
and their
John
children.
Taffer. Shut it down now. You're about to buy something that you can't afford. Shut it down. After 4 days, you reveal.
Gosh, I can't like that's the second time that's come up during this conversation. Like, who's famous who has financial woes right now? Because that used to be a thing.
Apparently, Tom Brady.
They don't keep Tom Brady.
I think that InfoWars guy could use some help.
Alex Jones.
Alex Jones.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he's got some. His credit score is probably not 850.
His bank account's probably not 850 anymore either.
Probably not.
I wasn't exactly sure how it worked, so the one I came up with was just a memory of a homeless lady that I tried to offer a sandwich to through the window of my car, who asked if it was organic, and then told me that she's gluten-free and only eats organic, so she wouldn't take the sandwich. And I always thought it was really ironic that she was begging on the side of the road, but her standards were higher than mine. So,
did she have a sign? Like, anything will help. Anything will help. No.
What did anything will help. But she was like, but that sandwich doesn't look organic. So she had higher standards than me as a homeless person for what she ate.
I saw that when I was in San Diego, there in this town called La Jolla. It's a very wealthy.
Oh yeah.
La Jolla. So there was a woman just standing outside with a sign that was just like, thanks for. I forget what it was, but it was just like, thanks for helping or something along that line.
Oh yeah.
And it was like, she was like dressed okay. There wasn't anything clearly. There was no.
She had an attaché case.
Yeah, she was just standing there, just wanting people to give her money. Like she wasn't begging, she wasn't asking, she wasn't playing the drums, she wasn't, doing hula hoops or anything. She wasn't performing, and I was just like, you can't just stand here and like expect people to do something. Like tell me a joke, something,
or at least sell white guilt credits.
Yeah.
Jason, was this?
Technically, all food is organic.
Yeah.
Except salt.
My son
I like to ask for organic salt when I go out to the restaurant. Do you have any organic salt? This salt doesn't look organic.
I don't want that artificial.
I love when
they
go
artificial salt.
They go back to ask, is the salt organic?
Is the salt organic?
Makes me happy.
You idiot! Free salt.
Yeah.
I forgot, Jason. Are you in California?
Not anymore. I'm up in Washington State now, so it needed something more communist.
But that was the lady was in Washington State? Okay.
No, she was in California.
Uh-huh. Okay, that makes a lot of sense now. California homeless people are worried about the origin of your sandwich.
It's funny
is this locally sourced?
Yeah.
It's funny how we find out that she's in California and suddenly it's all rational now. It's like, oh, yeah, California, sure.
Makes sense.
You could get to the end of it and be, by the way, this lady was in California.
Yeah, Jason's actually the dummy for being surprised by that.
Yeah.
Was the sandwich in entirety, or had you already?
Yeah, it was a wrapped sandwich from Safeway.
A bit of this? Okay, I was just checking.
It was wrapped.
I would be the.
It was still in the cellophane. I mean, it was wrapped in, but it wasn't.
Wait, you said Subway?
No, it was from Safeway.
Oh, Safeway.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
Safeway.
Grocery store sandwich.
Do Subway? Does anything in Subway organic at all?
She should have had a cardboard sign, right?
Yeah.
Like, we'll help.
Anything helps as long as it's gluten-free and organic.
Right. We'll work for lacto, ovo, free, gluten-free,
Just
organically.
said, please help me. I'm glutarded.
Locally sourced.
Vegan and homeless. Please help.
or if they look at it and they honey mustard. Ugh.
Open it
up. Here you go.
It's like,
no thanks.
You're officially not hungry at that.
Yeah. Oh, that would be me if like someone brought something and had like ranch on it. I'd be like, I'm good.
Well, Luke, didn't you try to do something similar?
I did. I was coming home from work and a guy approached, and all I had left in my lunchbox was a can of mandarin oranges. And I tried to hand it to him, and he was like, "I don't want that." And walked off.
Canned fruit? Are you serious?
Nutrients. I don't want no nutrients. You got any like Pop-Tarts or something?
And Luke's like, "You're going to get scurvy. Take these.
You need vitamin C.
We'll work for food. Not that food."
No thanks.
Well, all right.
Homeless and not particularly hungry. That's what the sign would say.
That's funny. I had a homeless lady. This probably won't make the final cut. Had a homeless lady come up to me in Alexandria, Virginia, when I was doing a series of shows there. And she came up to me one week, and she was pregnant. I need help. I'm pregnant, going to have a baby. Well, I didn't give her any money then, but I stayed for I was there for like 6 months altogether. And the same lady came up to me like 5 months later with the same story. I'm pregnant, going to have a baby any day. And it's like, is this the same baby that you were going to have a week ago, 5 months ago? Is that
The doctor was off.
We haven't had enough time.
That's when you thump it to check.
That's right.
Right. There's no. That's
Do you know what you wanted to Vivo's father? Because it takes 3 years to have a baby.
Are you? Yeah. It takes longer. It takes longer with men.
Obviously, she was waiting to have it because she couldn't afford it yet.
Yeah. There you go, John.
Or her husband didn't have a shirt that they could put it into the pocket of.
Yeah. If she only had a good credit score, she could have.
He has no shirt pocket.
She could have had the baby.
He's told me we need to wait to have this child.
What's the worst credit score? Is it just 0, or can you go into the negatives?
I have
Can you
no
get a
idea.
Can you?
credit score?
I think it becomes 0 when you die. As long as you're alive, it's above 0.
Except for voting.
You're
I
a
think there's
bad
probably
credit
people out there
risk.
who
Yeah,
think
your voting credit.
credit score is equal to the amount of money they have in their savings account. Like, 850. I thought I had 850 in the bank.
Corpses,
Credit score?
corpses are notoriously slow to pay their bills.
If I could get my savings account to 850, I'd be happy. I don't need my credit score that high.
That would be something to try. And, it's like my great-grandpa would like to apply for a house loan. What kind of interest rate could you get for a World War I veteran?
It is
now he's
odd.
Remember, we need
12%.
World War I interest rates. That's
There you go.
I'll take the prices. I'll take the World War I
yeah.
prices. And I'll do 7% on a World War
A
I.
house for $350?
Yeah.
350?
300 is as low as you can go.
It
What?
is.
that's
Weird.
depressing.
That's the lowest?
Yeah.
I like the
That's
arbitrary,
arbitrary.
very
I thought
arbitrary
they had
numbers.
at least 100 more than that below me.
It's like, we'll see about that.
So now
I'm
it's
over
the
here
opposite.
looking
I was
down
feeling
on people.
good. I was
You've
feeling
at least
good. Oh,
got
at least
a
I'm
250.
300. At least I'm not 200. Oh, 300's the worst? Oh.
Well, Mr. Farley, we've never seen this before, but your credit score is 100. That's 200 points below what's possible.
The credit,
Credit
score is like
6.
Your credit score is younger than your child.
the credit score is like Fahrenheit. Water freezes at 32. It's like it should be 0, and it boils at 100 in Celsius. But for us, it's like 212.
I was just about to say that it's such a strange number. Like you
It's
would,
all made up anyway.
Like
When you don't have
850,
credit,
who
that should
would
be
even
0.
think of that? Who would even put that chart together and go, okay, it's going to go from 200 to 300 to 1,000,000. No,
no, that's too high.
no,
1,000? No,
No.
that's what they'd expect. That's too round of a number.
That's like Scoville units for
That's what they want us to say.
for peppers.
It has to be an American thing. The British would never have done it this way.
How would the British?
Well, it shouldn't
Well,
be.
0 to 100 probably.
Oh,
Yeah.
probably,
Sounds like a
because
0 to
communist
10.
plot
That's
to
your credit score.
That's like it's like Scoville units because you eat a mayonnaise is like 2, but then you eat a jalapeno and that's like 15 million.
Right.
It's not
Is that
that
a white
much.
joke?
No, I'm exaggerating for the sake of comedy.
We've had 2 million. Joanne and I
think-
have done 2 million plus.
Slow down.
What? So what was the hottest one?
It was over 2
Was it
million.
2 million?
Yeah, it was 2 million plus.
You got to be kidding me. Because there's one that's like 11, I think. There's like a pepper that's 11. But they have to
Just
generate that in a
11?
lab. 11 million. Sorry.
Oh, 11
It goes
million.
all
I
up
thought
to
you meant like 11. I was like,
There's this pepper.
That's pretty
My
tame.
amp goes up to 11.
It actually
It's water.
sucks heat out of your mouth. It makes your mouth cold.
It's made out of ice cubes.
Yes.
You will die of hypothermia if you try to eat this pepper in
The
one
Hot
sitting.
Wings Challenge. Ooh, this is cold.
Wind starts sucking through your ears.
Feeling mildly dehydrated.
Yeah.
What's
but
the pain units? Isn't that like another weird one? Like pain unit, you go from like the worst thing is I think maybe like a 200 or something like that, 270.
I think just
That's
0
what
to
they say
10.
at the hospital. They give me 1 to 10.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they do. And they have that little. They have little faces to help you. Like
Yeah.
Well, and then
Those are
they
for children, John.
like page 0, zero pain.
Wait,
It's
why
just
are they showing me?
right.
yeah. And then they can you describe the pain? Is it stabbing? Is it burning? Is it throbbing? Is it aching? Is it just slowly creeping up on you? Is it stabbing? Is it tearing apart your flesh?
Is
I don't know. It
existential?
hurts.
You know, the funniest scale in a hospital to me is we assess fall risk for patients using the Humpty Dumpty scale. That's what it's called.
All right, there's your bit. Scrap the credit score.
I know. It's like I don't know if it's helping, but we've reduced our dumpties. So
So do they have like at one end? He's sitting on the wall. You know, it's like very little.
Securely
He's not even on
fastened.
the wall. He's sitting next to the wall in a lawn chair in a chaise lounger. And it's like he's not falling out of that. And then at the other end of the scale, it's all the horses going.
it's just weird to hear all the technical jargon from the doctors back and forth, and it's like, what's his Humpty Dumpty scale? What is this?
That's your bit, dude. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
that's a
good.
bit.
I've always thought the funniest.
What's the
scale
high-
was
what
the
is-
one
so what
that
is the
tells
highest-
Me, I'm fat. But
Yeah. What's the
Higher
highest level?
risk.
I'd have to look back into it.
If you got skinny legs and
Is
you're
it
heavy on
great
top,
fall?
It should be.
There's like
I think
sat, and then
it's
great
measured
fall.
in number of king's horses and king's
Yeah.
men.
Right.
Oh
great.
yeah.
So it's like
What kind of
one
fall?
and
Right.
then all.
Yeah, one to all.
Yeah.
All is 850. One
Yeah.
is 3.
Exactly.
Right. The horses and men have to be in there. It's like, man, the horses would be a big help whenever something needs to be put back together again. If
Yeah.
the men can't do it,
Yeah. Bring the horses.
bring in the
Yeah.
horses.
I know
Like-
when I'm making eggs and I
They're
drop
like
one on the floor, I immediately call for the horses to come in and help fix everything.
It's like, oh, I wish I had a horse.
Is there any hooves without opposable thumbs around to help me hold this thing?
That will try to
Got
eat
an
the egg.
emergency.
Wearing your jeans at your thighs automatically puts you up to a level 3.
On the Humpty scale.
On the Humpty Dumpty scale.
Yeah.
It's like two horses.
I wonder
Two horse
if,
fall.
where does that fall on the Humpty Dance scale, though? That's like a 10 on the Humpty Dance
Oh.
scale, which is an old 90s reference. That's what
That
that's
should
Humpty
be-
dance is your chance to stay on the wall.
That's right. Luke, you have a whole bit of strange units of measure.
Yep.
There you go.
So you have your credit score for range,
That's
you have
true.
your Humpty Dumpty,
Make it
you
happen.
have the BMI, which is
I will see you guys on Netflix.
Michael Jordan was considered
I'm on my
obese.
way.
According to
I'm
the
on my
BMI
way.
chart, Michael Jordan was obese.
Are you kidding? Is that for real?
That is for
She-
real.
You're kidding me. That's incredible.
So when I get an obese score, that means I'm really good at basketball.
Yes.
Is that what I'm
You're
hearing?
the goat. I'm the goat.
I'm
Sitting on the
goat.
couch watching basketball. Well,
So
I, used,
the yeah.
I used to have a bit about I was super morbidly obese when I was 400 pounds. So they say I was super morbidly, and I was like, "That's the worst superhero
That's
ever."
not the.
Yeah.
Is that the actual medical term
Yeah,
you're
it
talking
was
about?
super
That's
morbidly
not.
obese.
Super.
Juan doesn't believe you. You lie.
It's like they were intending to be hurtful with that. Like, what do we do with this top part of the scale? I'm like, oh my gosh,
This guy's super morbidly obese.
it's not just
His ability
obese,
to knock
and
down
not just
nachos.
morbidly obese.
Yeah,
But super
Super.
morbidly obese.
I mean, if you're gonna do it, be the super.
Right.
Yeah.
He's a super into that scale.
But I used to
The
have a
only
whole
thing
about
higher
that.
is uber super.
Yeah.
Uber
Super
super.
duper morbidly obese.
Humpty Dumpty morbidly obese.
Mind-blowingly.
An 850 on the scale of morbidly obese.
He's really high in the Humpty Dumpty thing, but he's super morbidly obese, so he'll probably be okay. He'll probably cushion himself on the fall.
850 would be perfectly morbidly obese.
Phenomenally.
You cannot be more morbidly obese than this.
Phenomenally super.
Astronomically morbidly obese.
Right, it's like that is, yeah. You're not quite a planet yet,
But you're working on gratefulness, so it wouldn't be morbid. It would be
Cheerfully obese.
Yeah.
Right.
Gratefully. I'm super gratefully obese.
Yeah.
Hysterically, gratefully obese.
Hey, so the pain index for insect stings is called the Schmidt pain index, and it goes up to 4.
That's not enough.
1 through 4.
It's 1 or 2.
Wasp is like
enough.
a wasp is like a 10, and you know that there's more things out there that have a bigger sting than a wasp.
And the
Can
holy
you
Schmidt
imagine?
pain
You have
threshold.
bird-eater tarantulas in Australia. Where does that fall? That's a
That
4?
was invented by some doctor that didn't have a thumb.
Some of the tarantulas.
Can you imagine putting that together and going, well, what do they need? I think 4 points is going to
4
be
is
enough.
good.
No one's
Yeah,
going to.
plenty.
You're like, what are you gonna do?
No one's
Everything
gonna,
else we'll do on a scale of 1 to 10. What about insects and stinging? 4's good.
4's enough.
They don't
I
hurt
know there's a
that much.
giant wasp in Brazil that could probably puncture a hole through your arm.
Right.
And that ranks with honeybee sting. It's the same
Schmidt couldn't
scale.
count very high.
It was some,
Schmidt.
that was some
Dr.
Icelandic
Schmidt.
doctor that had never heard of hornets. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's like German, so he's just looking around going, "Well, we have a little beetle. That's the pincers. That's like a 4. Oh, that's a 4.
I feel like just watching
Einstein.
somebody else get stung would register a 2 with me.
It's not contact. What is it
Sympathy.
called?
Sympathy?
Sympathy pain. Gosh, yeah.
Sympathy
2 on the
sting.
sympathy pain.
One more thing to be grateful for. That you're in pain, not me.
I'm at 0. All right. Well
I
done.
hope you wrote all that down, Luke.
It's on video.
Yeah,
I
that's
get
true.
it.
Maybe.
Unless we weren't recording.
Does it?